What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the best teams for the Ultra League Premier Cup that I personally ran that gave me a lot of success, got me a lot of wins, as there's 4 days left until Master League comes back. So if you guys are wanting to make that final push this weekend, or you're looking at potentially looking at strong Pokemon to invest in for next season and start to line up some trades and all of that and save your Stardust, this is going to be a fantastic video to get you guys set up to either finish strong or get set up for next season. So we're going to take a look at the best teams that I ran here in Season 4 of Go Battle League, and we're also going to show that you guys can go and watch the videos that I made about them as well. So if you guys want to know more about the teams and an in-depth look at it, there are videos on the channel for you guys to go check that out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the best teams for Ultra League. My first team here, it was the first team that I ran in the Ultra League Premier Cup, and I invested in two new Pokemon for this season, that being Tangrowth and Empoleon. Now this team is very, very strong and only has one Community Day move, which is that Empoleon with the Hydro Cannon, but we're utilizing Tangrowth on the lead, Empoleon in the back, and Gallade in the back as well. We necessarily do not need to safe switch. Reason being, Tangrowth has access to Rock Slide, and the biggest counter that you guys will likely see in the Ultra League Premier Cup meta is going to be that Charizard, and what's fantastic is you can one-shot a Charizard with a Rock Slide. So the premise behind this team is to set yourself up well with shield advantage, come in and hard farm with the Pokemon that will give you the most energy while possibly resisting moves, and then going to town endgame with an Empoleon and Gallade core. They make a fantastic duo. Reason being, they cover each other's weaknesses. On top of that, they can hit hard against the Pokemon that would otherwise counter them. Empoleon, for example, has Drill Peck, which does super effective damage to those fighting type Pokemon and grass type Pokemon. It also does neutral to those dragons as well, like a Dragonite if you guys happen to face off against that. Gallade as well, with Confusion and its high attack stat, will absolutely chunk Pokemon like Togekiss and Dragonite. Leaf Blade provides you great coverage and a lot of neutral damage, and close combat just hits like an absolute truck. So building off of that core duo, giving yourself shield advantage for endgame can really work out. If you guys want to know more about this team and watch the battles and how I won when it comes to lead losses or lead wins and everything you guys need to know, there is a video on the channel. We'll be popping it up right here. Next team coming up has Drifblim, Machamp, and Tangrowth. So we're bringing Tangrowth again onto another team. This team has no legacy moves as well, which is really great. We have Driftblim on the lead. Driftblim is such a strong flyer with that Hex, Icy Wind, and Shadow Ball. Icy Wind will be doing a lot of neutral damage to the meta, and if it doesn't and it's resisted because of that steel typing, you can also use Shadow Ball, which does really hard hitting neutral damage. Now we have Machamp as a hard cover. Some of the biggest counters to that Driftblim are going to be those anti-flyers, right? So something like a Lapras or something like a Magnezone, Machamp can handle those really well. And then Tangrowth on the safe swap is fantastic. Not only is it great at covering some of those weaknesses that Driftblim does have, but it also can cover itself when a Charizard does come in. If you get ahead on energy, you can win that matchup by just going straight Rock Slide and double shielding and one-shot that Charizard. So this team is really, really strong. Again, no legacy moves here on the team, but the premise behind it is basically lead with Driftblim. If you lose lead, swap into that Tangrowth, get ahead on energy, try to flip the matchup or get massive shield advantage. If you win the lead, maybe you have a Driftblim versus a Venusaur, just maintain those positive matchups. If they swap in an anti-flyer, maybe something like a Lapras or a Magnezone, you swap in that Machamp and hard counter down, and then you have Tangrowth for endgame. So if you guys want to know more about this team, want to see the battles and it in action, be sure to check out the video above. Next up, we have another Empoleon Gallade core. I think it's probably one of the strongest cores we will see in the Ultra League Premier Cup until there are some new move updates or new Pokemon that do come to the meta, but they make a very, very strong core, and I made that case earlier in the video. But this is adding in Toxicroak. Now, the video that has this team will also let you guys know this team was not made by me. It was made by Tho Technical, so shout out to him, but it's very, very strong, right? Empoleon does so well against those flyers because of its steel typing. It's going to be resisting both Dragon Breath and maybe Charm or Flying type moves, which is fantastic for it. And then we're going to utilize Toxicroak as a hard cover. Toxicroak not only is a strong Pokemon to be countering those tanks, right? A Magnezone, a Lapras, etc., but it can also hit hard with Sludge Bomb against those flyers. Maybe neutral to Dragonite or super effective to Togekiss because of that fairy typing. And we're utilizing Gallade there on the safe swap, because the premise of this team is if you face off against something that does counter Empoleon, maybe a grass type Pokemon or maybe a fighter, you swap into that Gallade, start chunking health, and draw out the hardest counter to a Toxicroak. And Toxicroak with shield advantage endgame, when there are no more flyers, can really do well at closing matches. So if you guys want to know more about this team, you guys want to see all the battles that I used with this team, be sure to check out the video above. We have another Gallade and Empoleon core. I hope you guys are kind of getting the message here that these two Pokemon, both Gallade and Empoleon, were my best investments so far in the Ultra League Premier Cup. I am so happy that I invested in them. So if you guys do not have them right now, don't worry. Remember, there's going to be more Ultra League Premier Cup in future seasons. So this is definitely a great time to look to line yourself up those trades, invest in those strong Pokemon, because they're incredibly strong in the meta. But this is a different take with that core. The take is leading with Gallade and having two hard counters in the back, that being Magnezone and Empoleon, a double steel team. Gallade's biggest weaknesses are going to be maybe a Togekiss, right, with Charm. And with Magnezone and Empoleon, because of that steel typing, you're going to be resisting that Charm damage. On top of that, we're going to be utilizing Empoleon on the safe swap. This is likely going to be drawing out the biggest counter, right? Maybe a Machamp, maybe a Toxicroak. You can hit with super effective damage with that Drill Peck, potentially get shield advantage or flip the matchup depending on how the fight goes. Come back in with Gallade and farm down, and then Magnezone is free to reign endgame with shield advantage, and it's absolutely destructive. This team was a lot of fun to run, and again, if you guys can get yourself a Gallade and an Empoleon, you can make a lot of great teams depending on what other Pokemon you guys have. So I would highly suggest you guys look to get those. December, we don't know yet from Niantic if it's going to be allowed to evolve previous Community Day Pokemon. So before previous Decembers, that year's Pokemon you guys could evolve. So we may see an opportunity to be able to get Hydro Cannon again on Empoleon. So if you don't have one and you don't have any trades and you don't want to use an Elite TM, that might be your best bet. Just bank on Niantic staying consistent with their event. If you guys want to know more about this team, be sure to go check out the video above. There will be plenty of battles and everything you guys need to know. All right, coming in with another strategy, but it does bring the Gallade again. I absolutely love Gallade. I'm not even going to be trying to hide that. Like you guys know, a lot of you guys may, Alolan Marowak is my favorite Pokemon for the Great League, and it's such a versatile, fantastic Pokemon that I have given it the title of GOAT, greatest of all time. Now that's my own personal opinion, has no merit on the overall everything, right? Because Azumarill is rank 1 and people could argue for that, but I love Alolan Marowak. Same thing with Gallade here. I absolutely love Gallade. Its versatility and ability to flip matchups or absolutely dominate when ahead on energy is so great, and it's probably my best investment for the Ultra League Premier Cup that I've had throughout all the seasons. It's been consistently getting me wins. So we're going to play off of that. We have Magnezone on the lead today with Poliwrath and Gallade. Now, Magnezone's biggest weaknesses, right, going to be some fighting type Pokemon, or Pokemon like a Swampert, right, that ground water type, which will be resisting the Wild Charge and Spark, so there's really not a lot they can do. And it can also counter those flyers. It can counter Togekiss, it can counter Dragonite, it can counter Driftblim. So we have double fighter in the back to draw out that flyer. So if we win lead, fantastic, line up your proper matches. If you guys lose lead, maybe you guys face off against that Machamp, we swap into the Gallade, get ahead on energy, and draw out that flyer. That way we can come in with the Magnezone, farm down, get far ahead on energy, and then throw a Wild Charge at that fighter that does come back in, and then swap into the Poliwrath and look to close endgame. It was a really fun team to use. I'm very excited that I got to use my Poliwrath because I invested a lot of dust into this thing in previous seasons, and I'm glad it was able to work. So if you guys enjoy this team, like the idea, be sure to go check out the video above, and I hope it gets you guys a lot of wins. Finally, we're going to take another look at a solid team that has that Magnezone Gallade strategy, but it is a team made by a member of the community, Jonkus, who does have a YouTube channel, and the video will send you guys to his channel as well. But it is a Magnezone lead with Venusaur in the back. So the same situation as the Poliwrath Poliwrath, but instead we're utilizing Venusaur, and then Shadow Gallade on the safe swap, which is absolutely deadly. That confusion damage chunks everything, absolutely everything, and if it doesn't chunk it, that means the Leaf Blade and close combat are about to be hurting really, really hard. So this team is probably one of the best teams that I've seen consistently played in the Ultra League Premier Cup. If you guys want to know more about the team, you guys want to try to run it and see how the battles work out, be sure to go check out the video above. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We spent the last 2 weeks diving into so many unique teams here on the channel. Yes, I did use Gallade and Empoleon quite a bit, but for good reason. I want to show you guys the Pokemon that did well for me, right? I'm not just going to show you guys different Pokemon that didn't perform well, because if I invested dust into something and it did extremely well, that means it has a high chance of doing extremely well for you because it is a strong Pokemon. Now, I will say with Gallade, it does take some learning to figure out how it can play so well, but once you start to master Gallade, it can absolutely dominate some matches for you guys. And on top of that, it counters Trainer Tips team, so shout out to him. If you guys end up facing Trainer Tips and you have a Gallade, you have a high chance of winning. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about today's video. What was your guys' best team of the Ultra League Premier Cup? And I wish you guys all the best this weekend. There are, I think, 4 days left, so maybe 100 battles left to do in Ultra League Premier Cup. So I wish you guys all the best. I hope some of these teams help you guys out, and if you guys want to know more about the teams, be sure to go check out that video. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.